We are all ready. I will call the meeting to order at 8:36 a.m. Welcome, everybody. First up is introductions, and Nancy Wise, Commissioner and Chair. Commissioner.
Chair Kirby, County Administrator.
And we will continue with introductions in the room.
Mitch Ryan, DLR Group Architect.
Justice Assistant Recruiting for Butler County.
Maura Kwiatkowski, reporter.
And Nick East, Ministry Specialist.
Jeff Arnold, Benton County Sheriff.
And then we will move to introductions online.
Lori Coppenrath, DLR Group.
John Haroldson, Benton County District Attorney.
All right, and with that, we will move into announcements. Are there any announcements today? Seeing none. That will take us to comments from the public. If you would like to provide public comment, you may have up to 3 minutes. We will go with people in the room first, and then anyone online that would like to comment. Is there anyone in the room that would like to provide public comment? Seeing and hearing none. Is there anyone online that would like to provide public comment? Hearing none. That will move us into review and approve the agenda. I don't believe there are any changes to the agenda. I will consider that approved. Moving on to old business, discussion and decision regarding including the district attorney's offices in the new courthouse project. And we have with us Nick Kurth and Lori Coppenrath and Mitch Hine. Welcome.
Thank you, Commissioners, Chair, County Administrator. This is a continuation of our discussion from Tuesday, looking for a decision relative to inclusion of DA's offices in the new courthouse project. And I think I've summarized this pretty well. We are here to, as I said, discuss and make a decision on the district attorney's offices as part of the new courthouse project. So again, just this is a slide that we shared on Tuesday, which really kind of summarizes all of the space use work that has been conducted by DLR Group with the many stakeholders that are involved, both county and OJD courts, and just the focus of today's discussion is relative to the roughly 9,000 square feet that we're proposing to include as part of the new courthouse. Really, we're kind of at a conclusion of this journey that began 2 years ago. We'll use these numbers actually for two purposes. One will be for final costing relative to finalizing a bond package later this year, and then the spaces or the gross square footage that is proposed for the courthouse and district attorney's offices will drive design, which we will be moving into shortly for that project. So when we left off on Tuesday, CFO Rick Krager was recommending that the county could prudently borrow up to $8 million for the district attorney's offices, which is approximately 9,000 gross square feet. DLR Group has been working with the district attorney's office to align on that space for phase one. And as I show there, 9,048 gross square feet. There was a remaining item, roughly 1,000 square feet for the medical examiner, staff, and storage that had not been resolved as of Tuesday. Staff engaged with the DA's office. We looked at a number of options. I want to thank County Administrator Joe Kirby for facilitating those discussions as well. Basically, what we aligned on was that we have a number of possibilities, which could also include, depending on how final costing rolls out, that the ME maybe even could be included in the DA's offices in the courthouse, but we have several other options kind of in the county's inventory of space that could also work. So the decision was made that we will essentially defer that decision until a later date when we have more information. Obviously, the construction phase of the project is going to take upwards of 2 years, so we have time to finalize a decision, but we didn't see it as critical path to arrive at an exact decision at this point. The important decision for today is simply to move forward with the DA offices, the 9,000 square feet. I believe that's all of the slides that I have for you to share. Oh, no, there's one more, actually. I just wanted to review for you and as well for the public. You know, there was some debate about this decision and whether it made sense. There's a number of really good reasons for moving forward now with the DA's offices rather than deferring that to a later date. Just want to quickly review. It absolutely aligns with what we're trying to achieve from the Community Safety and Justice Campus, which is to be built around best practices. That's why we hired a DLR group to lead our pre-design efforts. That's why we've gone to great lengths to involve the public through the Community Advisory Committee, through the Technical Advisory Committee. Best practices has always been our goal moving forward. And as the TAC was very strongly in favor of having an integrated DA's offices with the new courthouse, creates immediate operational efficiencies. Can't underscore how important it is to maximize operational efficiencies. The real costs aren't the bricks and mortar, but they're the costs of doing business year after year after year. So the more efficient that we are, the greater the savings will be for the county and for the public. There are some significant construction cost savings if we do these two projects together, so not to be overlooked. And of course, we're well aware, you're well aware, the public's well aware that the historic courthouse has seismic challenges from a safety perspective. Really, the sooner we relocate that staff to new facilities, the better for them from a safety perspective. So all good, compelling reasons to move forward. And with that, I will turn it back to you.
Thank you. I do have one question. Can you please explain a little further on the last slide? We're talking about finding a solution as the new courthouse project matures. I think you touched on that, but can you explain a little further?
Yeah, so as I said, design and construction of the new courthouse is going to take a couple of years. So finding a decision or making a decision relative to the remaining item of the medical examiner and staff, isn't one that needs to be made, tomorrow or in 2 weeks or even in 2 months. We're in a period of tremendous, I would say, cost instability relative to construction. Frankly, the numbers that we're looking at are very conservative estimates from DLR Group. Not overly conservative, but they are absolutely erring on the side of caution so that we don't get into this project and find out that we're short. That would be, we want to avoid that outcome. There is the possibility that costs will come in under what we've estimated. And I'm really anxious to know, kind of to start getting more exact figures. It could turn out that we can incorporate that 1,000 square feet, gross square feet needed for the medical examiner into this phase 1 DA project. That would probably be the most efficient, the most operationally efficient solution. I believe the DA would favor that as well because of the proximity in that result. So would really like to get into design, get better costing numbers, know if that's an option. If it isn't an option, then we'll explore okay, what are the facilities that we have in hand now that might be used to accommodate the medical examiner? And there are several. So just proposing we get a little farther down the road with a little bit better information, and then we can have a more exact discussion on a solution.
Thank you. So if we go forward with making this decision today, is the 9,048 square feet, is that set in stone, or is that one of the things that could mature as time goes on?
Yeah, really, every element of the Justice System Improvement Program is still somewhat malleable, even the new courthouse. And all of the other spaces that we've identified, the correctional facility, crisis center, sheriff's office, EOC. As you get into design and construction, you go through a number of iterations where costing figures could be off by as much as 100%, and then you whittle that down to a number that's within 5 to 10% of what of known accuracy. So there may be adjustments made along the way for any of the facilities, and this is part of the process.
Thank you.
I would like to just expand on it a little bit as you look at the slide in front of you. Thank you, John. Commissioner, I'd just like to expand on that a little bit. If you look at the slide in front of you, bullet point number 1 talks about the not to exceed $8 million. So really today, you're not specifically deciding on the gross square feet. You're really deciding on whether or not the board is willing to contribute a total of $8 million towards the DA's portion of the project. And so, as Nick was indicating, the price per square foot has increased dramatically over the course of the last 12 or 18 months. We're hoping that might moderate some. And so from the $8 million would advise today in terms of square footage may buy a different amount of square footage, more or less, 2 months from now or 6 months from now. And we're hoping that that will be in our favor, that prices will be able to moderate and inflation will reduce, but none of us have a crystal ball today.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that my expectations are correct and that all of our expectations are correct. Everyone on this call in this meeting.
Understood. I'd also like to expand on bullet point number 3. I did have a brief conversation with the DA Haroldson, who is on the phone this morning with you. And DA Haroldson and I were talking in particular about bullet point 3. And I did just review a host of 5 or 6 different alternatives. One of those being what Nick mentioned. Let's kind of wait and see where things go with pricing as we go through the design process, and we might be able to squeeze out that additional 1,000 gross square feet as a result of that, or we may not. If we're not able to include that in the courthouse design, then we would look at the other half a dozen options that we have on the table. The DA is supportive of how bullet point number 3 reads. I would like to, however, provide one caveat to that. And the DA said, Joe, as we're reviewing the options, he said, I just want to make sure that whatever option we end up with is it allows us to meet the standard of efficiency that's identified in the Oregon Revised Statutes.
Thank you. Other comments or questions?
Yeah, Nick, I appreciate you coming up with the term cost instability. a delicate way.
Yeah.
Putting what we're, situation we're in. I guess for DLR group, conservative cost estimate means estimating high. And what kind of assumptions for price increases are built into your current cost estimates?
The cost estimates are, we work with a professional cost estimator who uses real projects that are currently going through construction. It's real data, so it's based on the current conditions. They also look at market trends and whatever available information is for projecting out. So as we put together estimates, they can also escalate those estimates through the future. And the way they do that is from looking at those market trends. They can say, this is our estimate if it's weighted 2 years in advance or 5 years in advance. But you're correct in that the conservative is erring on the higher side. The goal is to provide a realistic view of, we're not going to get in trouble further down the line with exceeding what the available budget is for what the space list is allocated.
Okay.
Does that
Thank you.
answer the?
Yep.
Other comments or questions?
Not this time.
All right, I did not see a preferred motion provided. Is there, oh, I see John Haraldson's hand is up. John, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you. I don't have my screen on. I apologize. I am traveling, and so as a result, I am not in my standard business attire. To the Board of Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to speak on this issue. First, I want to acknowledge all of the work that has gone into this effort. You're hearing certainly from some of the representatives that have worked on that, but certainly the body of folks that have been providing information and engaged, frankly, for a time that can be measured in years now, has been critical. Most importantly, though, I wish to acknowledge the commitment of the Board of Commissioners, the vision to promote a criminal justice infrastructure that can serve our community into the future is evident in the methodical approach that has been taken. I certainly underscore the points that have been made today and really appreciate what is a significant collective effort that is not an easy one because of certainly the complexity involved, but it certainly speaks to the prioritization that is critical, not for us as individuals, but for our community as a whole. So thank you.
Thank you.
I would be happy to make a motion.
Okay,
I would move that we authorize the county to borrow a sum not to exceed $8 million for the DA's offices to incorporate the current estimations, approximately 9,000 gross square feet in the new courthouse.
I will second that. But should the motion include that the DA's office is
co-located.
part of the courthouse?
I thought I said in the new courthouse. I apologize if I didn't. Yes, that's my intent.
Does that motion meet staff's needs?
Yes, thank you.
All right, motion made and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. That brings us to others. Is there anything else for the good of the order?
All I would say is that for anyone out there that listens to the meeting, please go to the fair. It's wonderful weather and there's a lot of good stuff going on. Go out and enjoy.
Yep, I'll see you there.
Joe, would you like to weigh in on funnel cakes at this point?
I've eaten 5,000 calories in the last 2 days worth of funnel cakes.
Very good.
Let the record know.
And with that, I will adjourn the meeting at 8:56 a.m. Thank you, everyone.